This content was originally posted to YouTube on the Milsurp Garage channel on August 17th, 2024. On August 20th, I received an email that this content was removed by YouTube for a violation of their community guidelines regarding content featuring firearms. This violation was timestamped at 1 minute 49 seconds into the video, the exact moment I introduced patent drawings into the video. Patent drawings were always a large part of our channel, showing the historic progression of firearms through the years, and in no way are these patent drawings intended to instruct any viewers on how to make firearms. Apparently, YouTube feels that these are instructions. My appeal was knocked down. This warning was upheld, and further infractions, as YouTube calls them, would cause the channel to be taken down. So we have no choice but to alter our way of doing these videos. For now, I'd like to re-release this content and just edit out the patent drawings that were shown. In the future, we're going to have to get a little creative. I may give you guys patent numbers and have you look them up yourselves, print them out, have them in your hands as I go through the descriptions, or we may just skip having patent discussions completely. One way or another, we're going to try to get through this. For now, try to enjoy this content without the patent drawings. As ridiculous as that might seem, it seemed like such a waste to work on this video and just throw it away. Plus, I'd like to be transparent with you all and really show you what it is that a lot of our firearms content creators are going through, trying to survive on YouTube and navigate through their crazy rules. Enjoy as much as you can, and just know I'm doing some heavy research on my next video. We're not going to be able to show patent drawings, but we're still going to step it up a notch. Until then, enjoy. Springfield Model 67F. I know what you're saying. You did a video on this shotgun already. We did. This is a revisit. I couldn't find any patent information, so I thought I would just leave that aspect out of the video, but I've spoiled you guys. Someone was asking, so I did some research. But what I found seemed a little bit more involved and a little bit more interesting than just replying to that comment. So I figured, doing tons of research for my next full-length video, let me just jump in here and do a quick one and show you what I found on this guy. Let's check it out. Milsurp Garage. Here it is. The Savage Files. Man, patent crazy. Look at this. Look. Oh, man. All right, let's get started. So, here's the comment that landed on this video. I agree with this guy. I should not have just skipped right over it. I should have at least addressed it. I don't know. Actually, I haven't seen the video in a long time. Maybe I did mention that I couldn't find any patent stuff on it, but what's interesting is the patents that I still ask you guys to, if you could do better research than me, could just get in, throw down a patent number. Just throw it up in the comments and ask me. I'll take a look at it, and if you beat me in the patent search for this gun, I'll do another video even giving you credit. But here's what I've come up with. I've come up with a Roper a green, and a Smith. These are 3 Savage, Stevens, Springfield guys. Savage himself was a designer. You know what I mean? So really hard to find anything on these Savage designs. So this guy, what was it? 54 to 71, I think. First appeared as the Stevens Model 77. This thing had been through a few different incarnations. Here's what I could find for carrier latch construction. This could have followed a lot of earlier patents from Savage too. You know what I mean? But this one, just comparing it to what's inside, taking a look at it, this one looked good. And this was assigned to Savage. 1953, and then granted 56, filed 53, granted 56. That doesn't really go along with the 1949 timeline, I'll tell you that. This one does. This is the Smith design for the trigger. This does look the way the sear works. And is this a slam fire gun? Yes, it is. So maybe that's why. Maybe the this sear needed to be designed. The trigger action. Simplified mechanism at low cost, arranged in a compact form, which will be reliable in operation and will ensure retention of the hammer in cock position after each shot, irrespective of whether the trigger pull is relaxed. Kind of sounds like it's a non. I don't know. I guess I needed to do even more research. This does go along with the timeline. This one too goes along with the timeline. The green bolt operating mechanism for repeating shotguns. This is the bolt, the lifter, the cartridge stop. Interesting. And it's looking, sometimes it's tough to go from these diagrams because this doesn't necessarily mean this isn't like a drafting drawing of the gun that they use. It's just the patent could even follow the same mechanical design, but in a different, get up. So it's tough to go by those sometimes. You got to more go by the text than what it's actually doing. That's what I came up with. So now, who are these guys? Smith, Roper, Green. Some of the most interesting research that I just did was just pouring through the easiest way to do this, because it's not like any of these guys were super famous. It's not like you're researching Browning or Pedersen designs like we've been doing the last few videos. Those are easy. Let's just look up every Pedersen design. We don't even know who these guys are. So you just have to kind of look up every Savage, patent. Good luck. Oh, man. That's where you start going crazy. So let's take Roper, for instance, here, right? I'm thinking this one was the carrier latch that for this one. Okay, so Roper has... This is a receiver recoil plate, which is pretty interesting. A trigger mechanism for bolt action guns. That's a Roper, and others, but he's involved in this one. Here's a shotgun magazine. We've seen these before. These box mags that go in the shotguns. This is just a patented shotgun magazine. That's the only thing that this is for the box mag. Here's another Roper. See, he was with Savage for a long time, right? Ooh, a lot of these. Adjustable choke. This is a Savage adjustable choke done by Roper. It's 53. Do we have any other Ropers? Let's see. I tried to separate these as best as I could. What do I got here? There's just one more on the bottom. No. So that's it. Those are all the Ropers. And that was what I think is the trigger action for this gun. It's funny. It says for automatic firearms. A lot of these ones from the 30s, 40s, they say automatic. They really mean semi-automatic, but I mean there are automatic guns too, so it gets confusing. That patent might very well have been some type of a machine gun, you know, and I'm just getting it wrong. Where did those others go? The ones that I thought that they were. Okay, I have them here. So there's another, let's do, that was the Roper, sorry. So here's the Smith. No, I'm sorry, the Roper design, I got confused there for a minute. The Roper that we just went through was for the, for the Carrier. And those were his other patents. The one for the trigger is Smith. What I'm thinking is the trigger was Smith. So let's see, what else did Smith do for Savage? These are pretty cool. And I just looked at one of these just recently. It is the combo gun selective trigger. And I think this is the one that, this is the one that breaks and doesn't really work. These are very, very fragile. I don't have the gun out here, unfortunately. I was just looking at it last night, too. It's the Savage Model 24. We have a video up on it. It's a combo gun. It's 22 long rifle, top, 410 bottom. And you can see how there's a selector switch here on the side of the gun that goes here that selects where this little nub goes, whether it goes to the upper or the lower. So the same hammer hits this lug that you move up and down, which determines which firing pin you actuate. You can only do one at a time. You can't do both at the same time. They eventually moved away from this switch and actually put a selector on the hammer. So the hammer actually went up and down, and they eliminated this mechanism because it was too fragile. Now, the Savage Model 24 that I have, it's a later version. The earlier ones were I think they were Stevens, and they were called 22-410s. That was the model number, or 410-22. Much earlier. It's a 49 actually one that I saw, but guy wants a little too much for it. And you know what? Like I might have the newer, when I say newer, it's like somewhere 50s, 59, I think. The Savage Model 24. I don't really need another one of these, but they're cool and they're pretty popular. They're collectors say if you see one of those, grab them up because they are very collectible. But it's a little pricey. But Smith was the designer of this double firing pin system and double failure when it breaks. So that was Smith. And then we had Green that we're thinking, this is the cartridge stop, bolt, and lifter for this guy is from Green. What did Green give us? Green gave us a receiver top safety for Noble. All right, let's switch like a Mossberg top of the receiver switch for a safety there. That's listed as Noble. I'm thinking that maybe Savage might have bought Noble or something at that point. What is the 61? I guess Noble was kind of on their own. Here's a Savage patent. Green was hugely in on the Savage Model 720, which was the Savage version of the A5. They had done some of their own changes, and if you're curious exactly what those changes were, look, they're pretty, I mean, just these two drawings right here, you can see he did a lot. Frank T. Green, and Wilfred I. Smith. Oh, is that the Green from before too? Smith? Yeah, so Smith and Green were in on this one. I didn't even know that until I saw on the bottom there. Smith and Green were in on the 720 here. And if you're curious, look, there's a lot of text here as to exactly what changes they had made. What else? There's another Green. There's another Green. Shotgun magazine. This is for Noble. It's a magazine tube with the cartridge stop and everything, the way that's done. So it looks like it kind of can be for here, right? Doesn't that trigger look sort of kind of similar? But again, you can't always go by that. And this does look similar. It could be some kind of, it could be some connection, but this isn't till 57 and granted in 60. No way. No way. We're how many years old? We're 10 years away there. I mean, it's more than 10 years. Can't be. So green is some of the stuff that he gave us. Then just poking around, there were a couple of other really interesting ones, like this Hussey patent from 49, filed in 49. It interested me. I was looking at it because of the filing date. But it's the wire extractor. Remember on the Marlins, we were looking at these. That weird wire extractor, right? But we don't have that here. Over here, we just have, conventional. I say conventional, just conventional spring-loaded claw extractors in here. There's no wire extractor, so that wasn't it. Hussey was not involved. And this other one like Brewer here, this one also was sort of in the right area. And I'm like, Brewer, that rings a bell. Yeah, that rings a bell because he was the Savage 6A guy with the click-clack gun. And that's his patent here. So that was not it. So that's what we came up with. Where's my check marks? Green, Roper, and Smith. Okay, there's the numbers: 2765557, 2480017, and 2457001. Man, so you got to admit, printed out a lot of patents, did a lot of research. That's the best I could do. Savage is a pain in the neck when it comes to pulling and finding patents, but let me tell you something. Remember, these didn't want to work too well. These 20 gauges didn't want to work too well last time I was messing with them. But in this gun, these things cycle. They don't care. These things are like bulletproof. It's weird to use that terminology when you're dealing with guns, that they themselves are bulletproof. But man, this thing will load and shoot a garbage can. That's why I love them. And it's fun to shoot trap with this thing. So forget about the patents. You know what I mean? It's just every once in a while, you got to just forget about the patents. Put the patents down. Get out there with this guy. You know what? We'll pay tribute to the fact that I don't know who designed this thing by getting out there and doing another shooting video with it. Very, very smooth and like kind of like controllable. You know, you could, if anybody that shot a 20 gauge, you know, something psychological where you just know, not that a 12 gauge really beats me up. I could shoot any of these 12 gauges, shooting trap. I do 4 rounds, 6 rounds, 8 rounds. Even if it starts to, my shoulder starts to get sore after a while, it's barely noticeable when I'm actually out there shooting. I pretty much absorb 12 gauge trap shooting like it's nothing. But it's nice to have the 20 gauge. It's like a very mellow kind of, you psychologically, you know it's not going to pound you as hard. And somehow that makes the shooting a little bit more pleasant. That even before you pull the trigger, you know it's going to be nice and smooth. And I did really well with it. I wanted to shoot 2 rounds with it. I only got this 1 round in. And shot a 20. And now at this range, they have this whole new system where it used to be like you just bought tickets and you gave them to the puller, and now you get a card and they load the card with the birds. So if you get 4 games, they put 100 birds on the card. And for some reason, on my 4th game, when I went up there on my 4th game, which would have been the 2nd round that I videoed with this gun, he's like, it's empty. There's nothing. I guess they made a mistake at the office when I bought the card. And once I pack up and I go back to the office, I'm not going to add anything and then go back there again. I was out. So I feel like I could have even bettered the 20 on my next round. Around the trap with the 20 gauge model 67F. Hope that was at least a little bit enlightening. It's the best I could do. Seriously, get in there, do your Google patent researching, and see if you could find something that more closely points towards a design for this guy, and talk to me. See what you come up with. See y'all later.